In this video, we are going to be working in the study questions section of our notebooks. But in order to get the study questions, I'm going to look back at the text that we've been working with. And the questions we're looking at are at the end of the text. They're called the review questions that are defined by the science book. I'm also going to be using the title of the chapter and the section title. So when I go to my study questions section and I scroll over to a blank sheet of paper, the first thing I want to do is write the title of the chapter. And this is chapter 1. It's called The Nature of Science. We had the vocabulary words that we defined. We've had a lot of different peeks into this lesson, but we really haven't dived into the lesson just yet. So I'm not going to answer these questions. I'm just going to set them up. And you might be thinking, well, why didn't we just wait to set them up until we are ready to answer them? And the answer to that is that I want you to have sort of a purpose for the rest of the lesson study so that you know the questions we're trying to answer in the end. These would be questions that are likely to show up on an exam, the night before a test, or say the week before a test. I would pull out this notebook and review this chapter, the study questions chapter, because these are the questions that you're likely to see on a science test. So, the method of science is the title of the section, and that gives me the lesson number. This is lesson 1.1. So I'll just go ahead and put that header up here also. In this way, you will know how to find this lesson again if you need to. So it's lesson 1.1. I'm getting that from those two numbers. Okay, the first question, and I'm just going to write that down here, is what is a hypothesis? Again, I'm not going to answer this right now. I'm just going to set it up. So as we work through the rest of this lesson, we want to be able to answer this question. What is a hypothesis? Okay, I'm going to leave about 5 lines and write number 2. So question number 2 is, on what axis is the independent variable? And again, we haven't really studied this enough to answer this right now, but when we finish this lesson, we should be able to answer this question. Plotted is the verb, and that's a question, so you want a question mark. That seems maybe very simple, but this is a good time to check those sort of things. That will help you on the writing test. Now, in order to answer this one, I want you to watch what I'm doing before you do this. I'm going to draw a graph, at least the frame for a graph. So just, if you need to pause the video, go ahead and do that. Put yourself a graph in there that we will use at a later time. And it looks like mine is not very straight. So let me try that one more time. We're going to draw the y-axis. That's the tall one. And then the x-axis runs across the page. So just put a frame in there. That's all you need to do for now. And then we are ready to to write question 3. Explain the difference that word is important. I'll tell you in just a second why. Explain the difference between a scientific theory You are practicing spelling every time you write these words. I know you may get tired of writing them, but this is probably the best way to learn to spell. And scientific law. You may already be able to spell. Spelling has always been a problem for me. So, okay, this is not a question. This is a statement or a command. So let's put a period there. And then to set this one up, I want you to draw a circle. And then I want you to draw another one just like it. And let them overlap. So use a coffee mug or something and just go ahead and set that up. This is called a Venn diagram. And I know when I see the word difference that this diagram is going to help me. So, in the course of the rest of our lesson, we want to be able to come back to these questions and answer them without a lot of trouble. We may have to think about it, but we'll come back to these. These are the study questions for lesson 1.1.